Welcome, everybody, to our Ayurveda talk. I am Marie. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I actually do a lot of stuff. I used to do sports medicine. I was a physical therapy tech. I have a lot of yoga experience. I started in the 90s, but then before that, I was doing movement with the body and stuff, exercise, personal trainer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I am here to talk to you today about pranayama, breathing exercises. So pranayama is one of the ways that we can actually connect to our body and the actual have a direct connection to the nervous system. So we can use pranayama through each season as a way to help bring us into balance. And I wanted to start doing our talks with tools that we can use to manage the current season. We are in summer, we are dealing with hot temperatures. I want to give you guys tools as we move through these weeks of things that you can do to help your nervous system, to help your body come back into balance. And one of the ways of doing that is with pranayama, breathing exercises. So the breath is connected to our thoughts. In fact, they are intimately connected. So breath is our form of vital force. It's connected to our light body, our subtle body. So that's why when I do marma with people, it's so effective because I'm working with that subtle body. But prana is our actual breath. So I always want to talk about the three pranas. You have prana, which is our vital force. Prana is our breath. And then we have another prana is a direction that moves outward of one of the directions of air, right? Because air moves in different directions throughout the body. The air element controls all movement throughout the body, and they all have different directions. And the direction of moving outward is prana. So breath and the mind are closely connected. And Ayurveda says that breathing is the physical part of thinking. So they're intimately connected. So every thought changes the rhythm of your breath. And let's just take a moment to think about that. So, in other words, when you're happy and you are in a peaceful place and you're blissful and you're joyful, then you will be experiencing breath that's very rhythmic and calm and content. That will be your breath. Well, let's say if you're disturbed, if you have anxiety or fear or anger or any of that nervousness, then your breathing will become interrupted and irregular. So you can look at have awareness of what's happening with your breath and really clue into what's going on with your nervous system. Isn't this a big deal? Because so many people today in our culture are living in a heightened state. And so it's causing their nervous system to be on high alert. So if you start working with your breath, it's a really gentle way of no matter where you go, you can always work with breath, whether you're driving in the car, standing in line somewhere, even if you're having a conversation with somebody, you could still be working with your breath. So, when we look at breathing, what we want to do is we want to actually balance the breath. So, we will be doing a balancing breath today. But I just want to talk to you about what happens with the breath. Every 45 to 90 minutes, our breath is alternating between dominating one side of the nose, the nostrils, and then the other side of the nostrils. So it switches over from left to right and right to left, switches over naturally. This shift is happening. So when you're breathing out of the right side of the nostrils, that is controlling the left side of the brain. And if you're breathing out of the left side, it's controlling the right side of the brain. So let's talk about what that means. So if you're in a part of your day where you are breathing out of the left nostril, that's going to activate the right brain hemisphere. Okay. So, depending upon what activity you're doing, that might be a beneficial thing or it may not. It might be counterproductive. But we can balance them. We can balance them. So, the left side of the brain is associated with what we call our yang energy, our male energy, the sun energy. And that is the energy that is the logical side of the brain. If we're looking at how the brain works, it's the part of you that is thinking, investigating, acquiring, like gathering data. But if you let that part of your brain control everything, it will literally drive you crazy. Right? We do not want to stay stuck in that. They're meant to work together. So the logical thinking brain is that left brain and that left brain side. Okay. So right nostril, left brain. Oh, right nostril, left brain, because the camera reverses me. Okay. So now it can also be controlling our aggressiveness. It can also control competition and judgment. So when you find yourself being really judgmental, you can literally switch to dominating your breath in the other side, and that will help you settle down. It really will. So, aggressiveness, being judgmental, highly critical, means that you are stuck in the left brain, which means that you are dominating that right nostril side breathing. Okay. So, the other side is the when we're breathing out of the right side, it's dominating the left brain. But when we're breathing out of the left side, it's dominating the right side of the brain. So the right side of the brain works with the female yin energy, moon energy, and it's associated with love, compassion, intuition, art, poetry, spirituality. And it's that part of the brain that is inspiring. It's the part of you that is creative. Okay. But when you're just stuck there all the time, sometimes you don't get things done. So we really do need both sides of the brain. So what is the secret of pranayama? The secret is to balance those yin and yang, male, female, sun and moon energies together. We want to balance them out. Okay. So by balancing them out, what we're doing is we're helping our nervous system because the breath is directly connected to the nervous system. Okay. So the breath that we're going to work on today is alternate nostril breath. It is the breath that balances both sides and it's going to equalize that right and left brain thinking. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to talk about with pranayama that is really important is not only do you want to be balanced on a regular basis, you really do want to be balanced. Just alternate nostril breath, balance out that right brain, left hemisphere. Now they can work together, right? You can be creative plus get things done. That's a perfect combination. So you can do that and you can awaken that part of you. And if you do that, that's actually you're bringing yourself into a what they call Brahman. So, Brahman is that state where both sides of the brain are balanced. When we do pranayama, the other thing that's happening is we're clearing our subtle channels. So, the very subtle channels are called the nadis, and then also the bigger channels are shrotas. Those nervous system channels are going to get cleared as we work with pranayama, and they become purified, and then the mind becomes controlled. And then we can go beyond the male and female energies that are moving throughout the body. We can move into what's called a more pure state, a balanced, content state. And it just gives us awareness. Okay. So the basis for pranayama and these practices is when we need to heat the body up, we can do that. When we need to cool the body down, we can do that. When we need to balance the body, we can do that as well. So if you're doing right nostril breathing, remember, right nostril breathing is going to awaken the left side of the brain. Okay. Left nostril breathing is going to awaken the right side of the brain. Okay. So that's what you want to do. Remember that left brain is the right nostril breathing. That's that male energy. And then it's the opposite for the other one. Okay. All right. So let's do our alternate nostril breath. We're just going to do it very simply. We're going to start out today with alternate nostril breathing. So you're going to take 2 fingers, place them on the bridge of the nose, inhale through both nostrils, then close the right nostril, exhale out the left. Inhale left, close the left, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale, close, exhale. 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 We're going to do 2 more rounds. Inhale, close, exhale. Inhale, close, exhale. 1 more round. Inhale, close, exhale. And inhale, close, exhale. And then release. And just let your breath be balanced. Just kind of feel your connection between the breath and notice your thinking. And oftentimes when we do alternate nostril breath, really calms down the mind. Great. So that's alternate nostril breath. That is our breathing technique for today. And we really want to do this technique before you meditate, before you do yoga, before you go into a meeting, before you do something that's important, where you really want to have both of those sides of the brain involved, not just all logical thinking brain, right? We want to bring in that creative force because it's bringing in love and compassion. It's bringing in a different way of approaching things creatively, looking at how to solve problems, right? So we want to use both. All right, so that's our talk for tonight, and hopefully you use that exercise and make it a part of your daily practice every day.